caliber mid laner, and we'll have to see if LoLPro is going to make it all the way and if that will be a definitively true statement.
If he could, that'd be pretty big for that man.
Yeah.
Just hitting 17, very young, very ready and able. My hand's too old, too rickety. I can't press the keys as fast anymore, unfortunately. But Janna's gonna follow it up. Fiddlesticks as well as Rengar away from Azingi. I don't think he's gonna see Fiddlesticks at all if they even make it out of this. Like, they just keep banging away from him, keep Azingi down. And Janna band, very smart. Anjaro, Keith McBrief, especially, very, very good at that champion.
Yeah, and this opens them up to pick up that Nami that they love as well if LoLPro doesn't go ahead and first pick it out. But the Fiddlesticks, if you do any sort of scouting onto Azingi at all, even in their ranked 5s matches, going up to Challenger Ladder to make it in place to qualify for this tournament, they played Fiddlesticks in a lot of those matches to get there. The Fiddlesticks Malphite combination was something that they utilized quite a bit in their climb up to the top 10 on that Challenger Ladder. But Gnar is another great pick that made it through picks and bans for this, or made it through the bans for this game, and Mysterious is going to be able to play that.
That's interesting. I mean, Gnar is amazing. We saw Westeros play at one game, and then everything else he's banned.
Yeah.
You don't ever want to play against Gnar. Boomerang, huge. He's got hop for mobility. He can bounce off someone's head or a creep's head or anything like that to get some extra mobility in with a Rage Gene and then just transforms. He's Mega Gnar. He's going to Gnar you into the wall, and it is really annoying to deal with.
Yeah, and he can be such a huge lane bully, and I'm curious to see what LoLPro is going to do to sort of answer to this. Aurelia is a decent pickup, but Aurelia is pretty susceptible to being just completely bullied out in lane by a Gnar, and sometimes when Aurelia falls behind, she's another one of those champions that if she doesn't get the farm she needs by the late game, then she can fall flat on her face as well.
I mean, yeah, okay, so they locked it in. They spent a lot of time thinking about that. Do we really want to get this Gnar? Do we really want to put him in top lane? It's interesting to... I would love to pick their brains and be like, why would you waste so long to pick Gnar? Isn't he just super OP? They probably have some page-long excuses.
Gnar is something that you just insta-lock right away. They might be trying to build their team comp, but another thing that made it through the bans is Think Card's Lee Sin. And if you think that he did not hesitate to make engagements on Jarvan,
he'll go underneath turrets. He doesn't care.
On Lee Sin, he's the guy that'll go behind your inhibitor turret to gank you on your first tier turret. He'll just ward hop all the way in. He's not afraid to make engagements. He's one of those players that can always find creative ways to start fights on Lee Sin, which you know is the sign of a great Lee Sin player.
All right, and no Sivir this time for Wiz Fusion as he goes straight up for the Corki. And then we see instantaneously from Fission as they pick up the Nami and then the Syndra. So Abu 222 is going to be trying that in the mid lane. No Orianna for him this time. And you know what's fun? Yasui can play Jason mid. Yep. He has played it quite a bit. He played it a lot in Challenger. I've watched his stream a lot. And Jace is one of his best champions. It's fun to see him use it and get to that late game point where you start chunking out people for 600. The supports have to watch out, man. Yeah. It is very, very painful.
The one thing that you have to watch out for, though, as the Jace against the Syndra is there's such a big spike for Syndra at level 6, and there's so much kill potential, whereas Jace doesn't really get much for level 6. A lot of pro players won't even put that extra point into the ultimate at level 6 and opt to put that into something else just because the bonus that you get from that is just so minimal, even compared to some of your regular abilities. So Yusui is going to have to really watch out to not get snowballed on by a couple of great ultimate kills or some ganks assisted by a Zingy in that mid lane.
Okay, so it looks like I was literally about to say, are we not going to see Lucian this set? And then the IRS kind of just picks him up and is going to play him. So there we go, it's locked in. And then we see the Jarvan jungle for Zingy this time. No more Pantheon. He's done. He's done messing around. That was his warm-up game, and we'll see him actually bring that Prince to light.
Yeah, and of course the Lucian. In the IRS is actually one of the highest rated Lucian players on the North American ladder. He's got one of the highest win rates on Lucian.
Okay.
And he really loves to main that champion. So even if you take his Corki away, which he's sort of been playing a lot in the past couple weeks, Lucian is still a big comfort pick for him. And Indivisible, I talked about that a little bit earlier in the day. If Nami's open, he almost 100% picks it. Even over Janna sometimes, which is something that a lot of supports won't do.
What is
They'll opt to go for the Janna.
This is a Kara mid? Are we seeing a Kara mid and then we bring flares with the Jace up top? All right, so Jace mid, out of the question. Kara mid, we're into a new era.
Yeah.
So the ability names are rather interesting. You know, you got Inner Flame, Inner Fire, Mantra, everything up. And she's got good mobility. She's got the speed increase. If you mantra it up, it's an area of effect, too, that's going to give to everybody, and they can just zoom into a fight. She's got the tether as well. When you mantra that up, you get the percentage heal. It's huge.
Yeah.
When it expires, then you root them in place. And then her Q. Don't get me even started about that ability. You get hit by it. It's a nuke. You get slowed. And then if you're mantra, it'll put a circle around you. You get stuck in it, and then you get slowed again. And it's just so annoying to deal with, especially as a Syndra who's trying to poke you out, but then you're just like, wait, Karma can do the same. And you're like, oh, I got to back up.
And this really sort of fits into LoLPro's style that we saw in the last game. Karma is sort of like a mild replacement to Sivir. They really want to go for that more abusive AD carrying Corki, but still have the potential to be able to move around the map quickly and gain a lot of control. And also, we said Yusui's champion pool is just crazy. It's so deep.
All right.
It's more like a champion ocean.
Champion ocean. All right, so if you guys want to tweet at us about the matches, what you think about the Karma pickup, tweet at us at LOL Esports, hashtag LCX expansion. And we'll read those out. Not read them out, but read them to ourselves and see what you guys have to say. And we're going to get into the game as soon as possible. It's the second game here between LoLPro and Fission Esports, as one of these teams is going to advance to play Team Coast.
Yeah, and that's going to be a tough matchup for them. Even after making it through this one, Fission on the ropes again. They had a little bit of a rough game despite a decent start last time. And if they lose this one, they're out of the tournament. Their dreams and hopes. I know Abu222, the kid that never gives up, his dream to get in the LCS. Time. Yeah, I know we'll see him more in the future just because of that nickname. But if they lose here, then they are out. Their dreams of being in the spring split of the 2015 LCS would be over. So you know that they're going to be focused and ready to try and take this game away from LoLPro.
And they have the competition to do it. You know, you got that Gnar up top, man. We'll see if he can become a pesky nuisance to Flares and win that lane out. But Flares, man, I'm sure he'll commit to split pushing this game too. Like, he did it so well in Aurelia, and maybe we'll even see an early invade here from LoLPro.
Yeah, this is they have a great level 1 team comp. Karma is one of the best fighters early on, and Braum as well. In those level 1, level 2 skirmishes, Braum is just a great pick to have, and you really don't want to go head first into that.
The slow connected, and they force out a flash already. Look at that mantra into flame coming on through. Jeez, you have to get away from that, or they would have definitely just caught up to him.
Yeah. So Fission, in their mind right now, they have to be thinking, we have to be more decisive this game. This game is going to matter even more than last game, because Jace, Karma together, it's going to be even harder for them to react to those map movements in time this match than it was last match. So they have to be formulating a plan in their head right now. They have a little bit stronger lanes this time around. Gnar can be a lane bully. Syndra can be a lane bully as well. And Nami Lucian sort of bundled into that same lane as Thresh Lucian. They can provide some really intense bullying in lanes. So I know Fish is going to want to try and get ahead early.
Mysterious is going to run into Flares, but he dodges the Shock Blast. That was pretty big for him. But he doesn't have to go back to base and heal up. He'll just be fine. With the Doran shield up top too, there's two routes you can go for the start. You can go for like a really auto-attack eccentric heavy harass build with the Dorans and your potion, or you can go for the I'm going to sustain, I can take some poke. I'm going to use this Doran shield to just make sure I stay alive and don't die in this lane, which is the route he's gone for.
Yeah, so no lane swaps decided to go for this game. Haven't really seen many lane swaps over the course of this weekend either. It seems like teams have shied away from that. With the going away of sort of those really hard carry ADs, like the Tristana, the Kog'Maw, the Jinx, teams really don't feel the need to go for those lane swaps anymore because they feel like they can just have a safe lane regardless with those mid-game spiked AD carries.
Yeah. Okay, so red buff was just taken by Zingy, and he's looking for a level 2 gank. Oh, this could be pretty dangerous. Let's see. He's going to look for Wiz Fusion.
He's got to go before he hits level 2, though.
Yeah. He's got to make sure they don't get the Valkyrie. There you go. Flag and drag does not connect. A good flash. Keeps Wiz Fusion alive, and fortunately no bubble to lead that off. And Mysterious up top, taking a bunch of damage from the Shock Blast combination. He's forced to flash out.
Wow.
That's rather interesting because he could have just gotten away just by walking on out of there, but I guess taking the safe route in the flash.
Yeah, this is one of the big strengths of playing Jace up in the top lane is most of the time you're going to be up against melee champions. Now, of course, Gnar, when he's in that regular form, the mini Gnar form is a ranged champion, but still, Jace is just so good at being able to harass and go aggressive in those really early levels. Mysterious already having to blow his flash, that's going to be huge. Thinkard is all the way deep in the enemy jungle.
Zingy didn't go to his blue. So now Thinkard is like, okay, Zingy's camping bot again. I'm going to get a free buff. And do to him what he did to me last game and steal his blue. So I'm not sure if this is the correct call. I would have just gone for a standard clear, but he gave up his buff and now he's going to be 2 levels behind.
Yeah, this is not a standard 3-buff swing that we usually see. We usually see the 3-buff swing come from when one team has a big advantage over the other team in the level 1, but Azingi basically just conceded his second buff over to Thinkard, trying to get his bottom lane ahead. And I mean, I said it last game, and this game sort of just solidifies that Azingi loves to camp around that bottom lane. Tried to gank twice in level 2 in the bottom lane.
Oh, so nice damage coming from Yusui and Abu222. We haven't really talked about them too much. They just trade the Ras out, and you can see Karma actually shoving a Syndra out of lane, which is rather uncommon from these matchups that we've seen as of late. Syndra usually just being that bully, but the Karma pick, we've seen Bjergsen and LCS even pull it out, and you can get a pentakill and have some fun with that.
Yeah. See if we'll see some pentakills from Yusui this game.
They're actually going to get counter ganked here. Level 3 Azingi still has his red buff. Gotta be careful. They can't really dive it completely. Ooh, Sonic Wave connects on Abu, but he's fine.
Yeah, it seems like despite Fission having pretty decent lane matchups this game, they're still falling behind. Up in that top lane, Mysterious, his CS is getting almost doubled, and he's being consistently pushed into his turret, which is not something that we usually see out of Gnar players. And Abu222 in the mid lane as well is falling a little bit to Yusui. Might be because he doesn't have much experience laning against that Karma as Syndra, but nonetheless he's falling a little bit behind.
You rarely see Karma mid.
And that's something that could be just a pocket pick for Yusui. That's a really smart thing to do in these lower round tournaments.
So, again, Thinkard making his presence known in the mid lane, going to keep some pressure out and keep that tier 1 taking some serious damage. Azingi down bot, man, can he get like a star on his account or something that says best bot lane camper? Because he's been down here for the past almost the entire game. He got red buff and just sat down the entire time.
So the first thing that Azingi does every game is he goes down to bot lane and he pitches a 10.
Oh boy, but here comes Lee Sin from behind. Indivisible does have his flash available. He'll try to get away from that last auto attack. He does get stunned up though. The concussion blow is doing huge amounts of damage, but Thinkard's forced to flash away. They teleport in the Gnar. As they go in and they decide on target, they're going to try to look for Keith McBrief, but the stand behind me can be used to get in front of enemies, so able to just dash his way out of there. That was a very, very close fight, and Fission almost came out ahead.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a, I think, too quick of a teleport coming out from Mysterious. He
should have baited them a little bit further back.
Yeah, and he actually didn't have any of his rage bar filled up, so it was sort of poor timing. There's not much that he can do that early on besides land a boomerang for a slow, especially with no items except for Ninja Tabi and Doran Shield. He's not going to really help much in those mini skirmishes early on unless he has, unless he's able to transform. So a wasted teleport maybe, but that's going to be really great for players some of that top lane who gets some free time to CS, still holds on to his teleport for maybe a first dragon fight. But LoLPro right now has about a 500 to 600 gold lead just from being ahead in lanes at this point.
Very, very good sign for them. All right, I am the IRS. He's been farming up pretty well against Fusion's Corki here. Not having the same amount of trouble he had on Corki last game, so he's pulling out the Lucian. He's showing his experience, and this bot lane is going to be probably one of the more determining factors to see if Fission can even bring this to a game 3. And look at that rage video. Keep on chasing. Thinkard's like, get out of my face.
Yeah, that's one of the farthest I've seen a caster maintenance go into the jungle, at least in a competitive match, but looks like it's starting to slow down a little bit again. Late first blood. Last game we saw it, I think, at about 12 to 13 minutes. And this game seems like it's trending to be the same way. I know that Fission's going to want to start. Whoa!
He tries to jump
timed.
in, just gets knocked right on back out of it. It's actually really hilarious to see Gnar just kind of fly back, those frames just all the way back.
Yeah.
And he's got to be careful.
I mentioned earlier that Mysterious is actually a Jace main. He plays a lot of Jace in solo queue. A lot of the times, teams will actually ban it against him in their rank 5 matches or in their scrims as well. But at the same time, that means he knows how to lane against a Jace, but it just seems like Flares is getting the better of him in this lane matchup.
And it looks like the first dragon with the Zingy still being behind. Actually, no, he's caught up in levels pretty well. He soaked up a lot of lane XP, though. He took quite a bit away from I Am the IRS and Indivisible, but this is going to be the first dragon of the game. Going over to Team LoLPro, they'll get that hefty early game advantage with that. They're up to 1,500 gold ahead, and get the timer on it, and good control.
Yeah.
Again.
That seems to be deja vu from last game, except the roles were reversed. LoLPro made the call early on. Oh, Flares could be getting sandwiched.
Gets stunned up there. They have the unleashed power. They drop Ignite on top of it. The balls go through. The boomerang doesn't connect. He hops on over. And what are you going to bounce off of the ball? But that's first blood. Mysterious.
Yeah.
Gonna be able to pick it up on the Gnar.
Bouncing off of the ball.
Does it actually count as a physical unit?
No, obviously, because he just did it right there, and he saves the flash as well. So knowing the champion inside and out there, able to pick up an easy first blood for him, and that's going to get them a little further back into this game.
You know what that means? He can bounce off the Demacian standard.
Yeah, he could. Yeah.
All right.
And so that's going to put them a little bit further back into this game and maybe give him a little bit of an edge in this lane now, finally, especially now that he has the summoner advantage as well.
All right, so he'll come back into lane with a Giant's Belt and some Ninja Tabbies, so trying to mitigate some of that physical damage. And the tier's still stacking up in flares with the Brutalizer, so he's trying to do what he can. Thinkard in the meantime, he's been all over the map. He's clearing out wards. They're using the sweepers. There's 3 early sweepers from both sides, actually. So they're looking to take control very, very early on.
Yeah, that's really common for LoLPro, and actually they usually make the transition over to 4 sweepers quicker than most other teams. Fission, not so much, and I think they're going to want to focus a little bit more on Fission this game than they did last game because of how they actually lost, which was over just conceding Fission control over and over again.
Mysterious. He's going to walk straight on into it. As he's forced to use his flash away, they cannot go completely in. Oh, wait, safeguard. Sonic Wave, if it connects, go for a flash kick. No. Nice little side step there from Mysterious. He'll get some good trade damage, too. Yeah,
he actually comes out on top of that trade, despite it being sort of a 2v1, which is pretty impressive for him. You can already see that he's starting to get going now. Falling behind in CS, though, that's a pretty big discrepancy there. And it seems that that's how most of their lanes are going, except for the bot lane.
He's going behind the tier 1.
Oh my god!
He's coming in. Let's see if he can get that Cataclysm through the Valkyrie there. Will force out a flash from his fusion. The bubble connects on to Keith McCreek. He'll just stand behind me and get right back out of there.
Yeah, Zingy has pitched about 3 tents now down in that bottom lane. One.
It's just a whole family field trip, man. They're just going camping in the mountains.
I don't think I've seen a Zingy. He had a short appearance in the mid lane, but
wow! Flares the wall. Good stun coming through with that boulder toss. He will get knocked back, but he's out of Mega Gnar farm, so that's probably going to help him out quite a bit. Boomerang comes in and picks up the kill. Mysterious on that Gnar.
A nice 1v1 kill for Mysterious up in that top lane. That's going to be great for him. And we all know this is one of the reasons why Gnar is banned, because in those 1v1 situations he's great. And also, once he gets to those team fights, he can start initiating fights with the pushback into the wall and just be super tanky and disruptive. Then he's going to be even bigger. And with 2 kills under his belt, and one of them being a solo kill, now that's going to be a big deal for them.
That's some huge experience. He should be almost, he's almost level 10. He's halfway there. So he is going to be having a great time against this Chase now. Once he goes back, he'll be building towards, I believe, either a Sunfire or a Randuin's, whatever he wants to do with that Giant's Belt. And then pretty much Flares can't kill him.
Yeah, then it's going to be pretty much game over for Flares up there. Usually a lot of Gnars will tend to go, if they're feeling like they can bully out the lane, we'll go for that early Brutalizer and just sit on the Brutalizer.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow. Okay, so he's actually going to go ahead and do that right after the Giant's Belt, so that's going to give him a little more harass potential. Now that he feels a little more comfortable in that lane and he feels like he can win that matchup, he's going to start going over to maybe a little bit of damage.
And down here in the bot lane, I am the IRS. He's been farming up. He's got his BF sword, so looking for an Infinity's Edge first. And he's farming up pretty well. He's keeping that minor lead over his Fusion. Dragon is going to be respawning in the next about 2 minutes, so we'll see teams get their control over there. While Zingy, this should be called a Zingy lane instead of bot lane, because he is just down there all the time. And Flares has given up on top, so he'll make his presence known in mid or harass out a boot 222.
Uh-oh, they're about to meet up, though. You can see on the mini-map there.
Oh, just Dragon Strike. Okay, so not gonna commit anything too crazy. He's got Cataclysm too, so he could try to gank out mid and counter it out. Down bot, Keith McCreeve. This is the Braum power, man. Just so manly. Propping that Unbreakable and getting those auto attacks in for the passive. They do flash in. They're going to get the Fissure on top of it. Tidal Wave comes through, and Wisp Fusion can't do anything here against this Lucian. I am the IRS going to take him down, looking for another kill onto Keith McCreeve. He gets stunned up. McCreeve, can he get the kill? Yes, he does. The bubble comes out from Indivisible, trying to keep his AD carry alive, but it's just not enough. Ebb and Flow is up in a couple seconds, but no mana as Mysterious TPing on in, goes into Mega Gnar form. Little miscalculation there on the Rage. While Abu222 going out to Yasui, they drop the Ignite, but he just turns around and Mantra interflames him. It takes him out. The Ignite gonna tick down, but not enough time.
A close call, but that fight was actually happening. I think Abu actually met Yasui in the mid lane as they're both heading down.
That's risky. Okay, he just hops out.
Gets out of that mega form, so he knows that he can't fight. But a little bit of a late teleport from Mysterious there. A little bit questionable. And overall, though, I think that's probably what Fission expected there. They come out a little bit on top of that engagement because of the kill picked up for I Am the IRS. He's going to be able to get a little bit further ahead in that lane. The one thing I want to point out in this game, though, is Thinkard's been unusually quiet on his Lee Sin.
He's just been roaming and clearing wards. That's all he's been doing. They have those 2 pink wards in those brushes in the river, so they're controlling where they can see roams coming in from a Zingy if he even leaves bot lane. So that's pretty much just safety to see if a Zingy ever leaves bot. If he doesn't show up, then he's still bot. He's just sitting there.
Yeah, and he's actually on the top side of the map for once. Take a picture because that
is that a blue buff he's going for?
That doesn't happen very often. We saw him concede the blue buff earlier on. Oh, the teleport!
Coming in from flares. They're just going to run straight up the river here. Indivisible is the only one that goes to the wall. He gets slowed up. I Am the IRS is going to be targeted here as he does get just destroyed. Wiz Fusion getting that revenge kill on him. Knocking him away, flares. That was a questionable thing, but he'll chase him out. As he does have the shock blast coming up. Does take him down to half health, but the more important goal in the objective of the dragon is there, and LoLPro will take it down with a kill.
Yeah, this should be a pretty good lead for them here, and actually a Zingy realizes that his home down in the bot lane has been disrupted. He actually goes up in the top lane, helps Mysterious push that out, so they are going to be able to trade that, but still falling behind a little bit more and more as this game goes on. It's going to be, after this bot tier tower, about a 3k gold lead for LoLPro, which is pretty big for them. And you mentioned Thinkard. He's been quiet because all he's been doing is roaming around the map and maintaining vision control for his team, which is something that he sort of transitioned into after being a very reckless and over-aggressive jungler. I'm really impressed with how well he's been with the vision control in the past 2 games.
Yeah, it's that LCS experience. It's the teams he's been on. Gamester Gear was a pretty serious team when they were still together with him. So taking that experience, bringing it to LoLPro, and it seems like it's a great fit.
Yep. And we saw him play for COG when he subbed for the Hotshot and Friends COG team, and he was making some pretty flashy plays on Lee Sin. I know he had a couple of highlight reels for his play there, and lots of camping going on, lots of creative engagements, and that sort of sums him up as a player. But now he just focuses a little bit more on the vision.
And with Gnar, level 11, he's the 2nd highest level in the game behind Yusui. So we haven't really talked about Yusui either. He's going for an Athenes and then possibly a Death Cap. He could go for a Void Staff if he wants to, but we'll see how that Blessing Wand goes. He's been farming up. He's actually ahead, highest farm in the game too. Doing a good job. Keep it brief. Gonna get stunned up, bubbled up, and they're gonna focus a lot of damage onto him. Pops the Unbreakable, but they're just melting on through that shield right now. They're gonna slow him down, and that's the last sphere for the kill from Abu222.
Yeah, Boo, that's gonna be a great pickup for him. And that's Keith McBrief getting McBriefed, like I said earlier.
Just face checking.
He always gets caught out going for those wards.
A beautiful bubble, going to hit him through the wall. They pop the tidal wave from the culling, but a swift flash. He's going to get Wiz Fusion and safety.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a rough move for him, having to blow that summoner after the Valkyrie got interrupted. But LoLPro is still in a great position. It looks like they're conceding a little bit of the control over the map. Whoa, those shockblaves hurt.
Yeah,
He's got the last Whisper and the Brutalizer now. So he just chunked out like 10 bars of I Am the IRS's health.
So what you're saying is he did 1,000 damage.
Yes.
In one shock blast.
Yes, 1,000 damage. Actually, probably 2,000 damage.
Oh yeah. All right. So Sonic Wave connects. Thinkard looking to go back in there, but look at this. Mysterious. He just catches the boomerang, puts it back down to the 4-second cooldown, and just keeps on spamming away. You have a decent range on that ability too, so just keeps on going through. He'll clear out quite a bit of this wave pretty fast and get the hits on it. But he's got to be careful about the poke. He doesn't have much magic resist, so he's got to be very mindful of that. Abu222 is going to get the stun of the fusion, but not commit anything too crazy.
Yeah, Keith McBrief just sitting on that front line, blocking a lot of these skill shots that are going to come out for this team. It's going to be hard for them to get a catch as long as Keith McBrief is there and has decent reaction time enough. And, I mean, this is sort of what Fission did last game. They don't have the best vision control right now. They're finding it hard to make engagements. They're a little bit behind, but not too far behind. Thinkard's off to the side for a flank.
Let's see. Zingy was looking to go in with that Demacian standard combo, but couldn't find anything. As, you know, Thinkard just takes himself back to his blue side.
Yep, Wiz Fusion trying to catch up a little bit on farm, and he has done exactly that. Passes I Am the IRS at this point in the game, and he's got that power spike on him with that Trinity Force. And Fission just continuing to try and push that. Thinkard's caught!
They caught him out, they stunned him up and bubbled him. He's able to flash through that stun though. He's going to war jump away while Mysterious chases him out with the boomerang, going to catch it, get the auto attack for the last kill. Unbreakable's blocking it, but Abu is able to flash on through, get the unleashed power on top of it, and can they get anything else is the question. Boulder Toss and Bubble going to keep Yasui away for a little bit. They try to stun him up as well. They'll throw an Inner Flame with the Mantra up, and they got to be careful. Stop focusing down that pink ward, and they actually steal the blue too. Going to drag it a little ways. Blue 2-2, that's just going to scurry its way back to the pit. So don't take me from my family, my kids. Please, no.
And this is what LoLPro does right now, though. They make you make difficult decisions. We see this 3-man squad from LoLPro trying to hold him off. Meanwhile, Flares is up top pushing.
Yasui ends up picking up 1 kill with the Inner Flame, but he trades his life for the Ignite. He's taken away on Mysterious, and he'll be able to live after that last tick. And like you said, Flares has been split pushing, but the IRS has been caught out by Fission. He's got no mana. He's got to be careful here. As he does try to get away, he's actually not standing up into the Valkyrie. I don't believe so. This top tier 2 from Flares is getting chipped out. And Fission, he's trying to kite away. He's running out. Zingy with no mana either, and it looks like Fission has juked away successfully.
Yeah, and Zingy really didn't have much mana either. I think he had a mana enough for one flag and drag combination. Flares patiently waiting for Mysterious to maybe check over on that side.
Thinkard, he's going to smite it. He's going to look for it? No, okay.
He doesn't get it.
Zingy's able to get it through with the Dragon Strike, and this is a big steal for Flares, man. Jace with blue buff. Yeah,
that's going to be tough. He also has the tier as well, so that should be stacking quite nicely. I'm sure at 20 minutes now, he picked up that tier pretty early, so I'm sure it's either at max stacks or very close to max stacks. And he's going to be hurting with those shock blasts. Well, he already is, but it's just going to be worse and worse for Fission as this game does progress. But right now, LoLPro is just slowly gaining more and more of a gold lead. Fission's trying to group up. They're trying to get the objectives, but LoLPro is doing what LoLPro does, splitting the map well. And while Fission was taking advantages in the mid side of the map, which Fission was taking down that bottom tier turret, Flares was getting free farm and getting damage on that top second tier turret. So what seemed like a victory for Fission at the end of the day wasn't a victory at all.
No. They're still behind that rough 3,000 gold, so we'll see. They're fighting over this pink ward. The dragon is live, so this big objective is going to be what they're looking for. Thinkard gets caught out. A bunch of damage going to come on in, unleashing the power, but not enough AP behind it to take the kill. Even has a needlessly large rod, too, on top of it, so surprising how he's still alive. There is the Unbreakable blocking the tidal wave. Does stop projectiles from going any further. So very good use of that. As now this dragon fight is still evolving. Can they get it? The steal comes in, and it will be Thinkard with the smite to take it down. And this is a horrible fight for Fission. Mysterious goes in, gnawing everybody back in. He does take down Braum with that. And I am the IRS finds Yasui, but Mysterious left with his fusion. He does end up falling, and this is going to be a quick 2 for 4, maybe for 5. Thinkard comes in, and that's a full wipe again. LoLPro coming big with that. Was Fusion with the double kill, and they get the dragon a full ace, and that has got to feel really bad.
Yeah, this is starting to look a lot like last game. Fission held in a little bit longer than they did, and it seemed like that fight could have been okay, but Fission really tried to force it. And not only did Thinkard manage to jump in, get the steal, and quickly get out of the dragon pit, but they also got an ace and handily won that fight. So they're going to be in a really good position picking up another one. And Fission, they were just so split up in that fight. Everybody was focusing a different target. You can see by the health bars on LoLPro that a lot of them are getting out of that fight with just little bit or slivers of health, and Fission just not able to finish off a single target.
Yeah, that last fight was really chaotic too. You could see them kind of scrambling around, like, where are we going to go? Who are we focusing? And you could tell that the communication there was a little off. So
yeah. The one thing about Fission that I've noticed in the past couple weeks is that they might lack a little bit of a definitive shot caller. A lot of the players on the team are really vocal, especially Abu 222 is usually the one who talks the most on their comms, but as far as someone who's there to say, hey, we're going to do this right now, we're going to go in right now,
whoa,
they just don't have the definitive person, and it shows.
They're going to commit to this dive here. Flares is going to get absolutely blown up. Mysterious comes in, Keith with Brief going to get bubbled, and that's a big 2 kills for them to pick up. They could do this into 2 quick turrets.
Yeah, this is a great move by Fission here, and you're right, I think they can probably get this second tier turret. The wave clear actually is really impressive here from LoLPro, so maybe not. Yasui is getting huge, almost at 3-item karma, and he's putting out so much damage.
Yeah, I like what he did with the Void Staff, but hold on, real quick. Fusion's going forward. He's got that red buff, trying to slow somebody down with an auto attack. Flashes forward to commit to Mysterious here. Auto attacks come in, and Mysterious knows. He said he tries to trade. Meanwhile, Yasui and Think Card, they're going to go big, trying to pick up some kills from themselves. Looking for a Zingy here. Tempest Cripple combination comes in. Monster up Q, but no. Inner Flame will not be enough. Fusion with a rocket from behind picks up the kill, and now they're going to teleport in players and look to get an inhibitor of their own, possibly.
Yeah, and Fission, it seemed like they had the upper hand going down that mid lane, but they took so much harass. They grouped up for Yusu to be just able to poke him out and did enough damage so that they could clean up the fight and maybe even take an inhibitor.
Oh no, Butsutu is going to die. It was going to be the Sonic Wave from Thinkar. Diving on in here with Fusion, looking for more blood, as he is very, very hungry for this win right now. They ping back, and it looks like they're going to go straight for Baron.
Yeah, Fusion didn't even have the best start, and now he's 5-1-1 in this game. 168 CS. He's about 20 CS ahead of the IRS, and he's got those two huge items, the Bloodthirster and the Trinity Force, and this is just a wonderful bait. They know that Fission's going to check into this, and I don't really think Fission has much of a choice. You can see their vision right now on the minimap. They don't see the Baron area. Here's the flank!
Oh, they're going to go straight on in for Posh. Fisher comes out from Keith McBrief. They're going out to all the targets. They focus down the Nami, but a 5-man Gnar comes in. Mysterious just trying to do what he can, but it's just too much for the little guy or the big guy, depending on what form he's in, but that's a quick 2 for none.
Now, LoLPro, they are a little bit low on health here, especially Virus, and they're just going to do the same thing over again. They know that Fission had absolutely no time. They check in.
Oh, they barely missed that Sonic Wave, but they're coming back in. They monster up the shield. They're going to get in, and Unbreakable going to block that stun to come out from Abutu. They're chasing it out. They want to get these kills. They're just showing off at this point, looking to see if they can just close it out by kills, force that surrender or something like that. They chase down to Zingy. There's the Inner Flame connecting, the slow going out, and Wiz Fusion is godlike.
Yeah, that's going to be really rough.
Oh,
7-1-2.
no.
Oh, no, Abu!
The Winter's Bite coming in. Abutu is going to get chased out here. They flash forward, get the monster up in their flame, and it just slows him just barely. They look for the Sonic Waves, and he's just dead. They chase him out, and it will be Yasui getting the kill. Mysterious from behind, though, going to get knocked out of his hob. He's trying to turn around, but he just came in and is just going to die again, as he does pick up 1 at least, and that's going to be a double kill. He picked up 2, excuse me. The Boomerang coming out from the back picks up Keith Brief, and Yasui finds himself a double.
He almost got into that Mega Gnar form, which might have been able to pick him up another kill. But nonetheless, even if he had managed to pick up almost a clean ace there, they're still falling so... Fission is still falling so far behind. They got super minions pushing into their base from that inhibitor down. They're almost 10k gold down. They lost all of their map control right now. You can see the vision on the map. It's just littered with... they have wards a little bit around that mid lane, but LoLPro can just come up right now, get control of that Baron, force him out, even wait into the bush like they were doing. And LoLPro, it doesn't seem like there's much that they can do to lose this game at this point, besides maybe a Baron throw, but it looks like they're in the driver's seat and it's their game to lose.
Yep, just like last game. If this is the LoLPro we're going to see going into this whole expansion tournament, I would be pretty scared.
Yeah, definitely. Whoever comes out top of this match has a tough one ahead of them. Team Coast is the winner from the second match in this bracket, and so we saw them play yesterday. They had really impressive stuff, but Fission's got to make some desperate moves here to try and get back into this game, because sitting in their base and bleeding out is not the way they want to go out, I don't think. So making a couple more last pushes to try and initiate a good fight, try and contest this Baron, is going to be their last hope.
Yep, and the pink ward's already laid out towards Baron, so we know LoLPro could go for another Keith McBrief and try to bait them into the brush to face check, and they'll just try to bait it out. They're sticking around towards that area. I think Card and Flares have showed themselves top, as they want to get the tier 2. Last tier 2 of the game remaining for Fission, so they got to be careful here, as it does fall really quickly, and they could just push straight into the base if they really wanted to.
Yeah, with that mid lane inhibitor down, they have so many options here. They have such great siege here because they have the poke from Jace and Karma. Oh, wow. They're just going to brute force this one.
Yeah, Keith McBrief taking it up, gets that fissure out, but it only hits 1. He might lose his life here. That turret doing so much damage. They go with the Cataclysm. Mysterious gets a 2-man Gnar on the Yasui with Fusion. The 2 big targets and a big scatter of the week comes in with 4 balls on it. As now the Cully chases in on the Flares. He's trying to get away. He tries to dodge him, but takes all the damage. And that's a huge fight. Looking for more, possibly. Think Card. Does he have a ward to they're just going to ignore him? He's like, there we go. Has to use the flash. Can't get up in time for the safeguard. He gets spotted out by that scrying orb. And now, Baron on the tip of the fingers here for Fission. They got to be careful it doesn't get stolen, though.
This is a risky play, but at this point, risky plays are really the only thing that Fission has going for them. They're going to try and force LoLPro away from this. Abu's going to go around the side. This should be a relatively easy dragon pickup, but we'll see what Thinkard can do.
He might actually end up killing a Boo here. He's got to be careful. Get scattered back, and now Thinkard is going to run away. But Zingy, he's almost lost his life to this Baron. Thinkard does pick up the kill out of Boo 222, but Baron goes into the favor of Fission. I guess overall that was pretty work for them. They did get that 3 kills and the Baron, so pretty good for them.
Yeah, Boo 222, he did go down, but he did his job. He pushed Thinkard off the Baron to allow Zingy to take it. Actually had the Zony Sourglass available, didn't use that.
Kind of one of those things you're like, oh, I forgot, oh god.
Yeah. Still though, like I said, did his job. They did pick up the Baron. LoLPro is going to pick up this Dragon, which is going to sort of bring back that close to the 10,000 gold lead. I believe it's about 8,000 right now, but this is where Fission has to make moves. They have that Baron buff on. They're not going to really have many other chances in this game to come back. The stall of their comp is not the greatest, and they know that they're going to be weaker in that siege situation because of the Karma, because of the Jace. And so I know that they can't just sit in their base and be complacent with this Baron buff. They have to go out there and make risky plays because their tournament life is on the line with this game.
And this Gnar has been playing pretty well, man. Mysterious, he landed a 5-man Gnar, but nobody could follow up. He landed that 2-man Gnar into the wall to start that whole fight after the Cataclysm, which was perfect. They got the 2 big targets. That's what he needs to do. Get them knocked into the wall, get them stunned up, and then just let the team just rip away at them. So you can see LoLPro now, they're not playing as aggressively, and that's giving Fission some room to move, and they're going straight down mid.
Yeah, and this is a good move here. They have to be careful not to be poked out too much, but at the same time, like I said, with this Baron, they got to make moves. They got to try and do something. They have to try and make something happen with this Baron buff.
And you know, they're trying to poke it out using Gnar to his effects, but just doesn't matter. And the Unbreakable is going to block the Boomerang completely, and he can't catch it back, man. Gnar's going to be pretty upset.
So right now, I'm taking stock. AK gold lead still for LoLPro. This game, it's still anyone's to win, I think. LoLPro, it seemed like they had a really great grasp at Fission with a great engagement on that topside inhibitor turret. Were able to pick up a couple kills, bring back the gold lead a little bit more towards them, and, of course, getting that Baron buff. But it just seems like they're not going to get anything off of this. They're trying to get control of their own jungle. They didn't get any turrets off of it. And it's going to be back to square one for them, really. And I think LoLPro, as soon as this Baron buff goes away on the side of Fission, that they're going to go back to that aggressive style that we've seen from them in this past 2 games.
Yeah. Baron has about, I believe, 30, 40 seconds left. So we're going to see them push through here. Holyfrost comes out, and they can't get through this. The rockets, the phosphorus bomb, the inner flames coming out from Karma is just too good.
Yeah, it's just a little bit too much for them to handle. And it's kind of hard for them not to stay a little bit grouped up, just because a catch would be great for them right now. Getting a stun off from a Boo 222 into a bubble maybe from Indivisible that can take people out really quickly. So you can tell that's what they're trying to do, but as soon as they group up like that, they just take a shock blast to 3 or 4 people, and then the inner flame to 3 or 4 people. So it's just so hard for them to do much of anything. And this is a tough spot for them to be in, because we said they got to make moves, but at the same time, they're just having trouble finding openings to be able to take objectives or find kills.
All right, and this Baron's going to fade, and they try to do what they can to get something out of it, but couldn't push to tier 2. Their waves were getting pushed in the side lanes, and they're struggling. This is going to be pretty bad for them if they let LoLPro just push up.
Yeah, and LoLPro probably going to try and wrangle back some map control over the enemy jungle, and then go back to trying to siege it up and play to their team's strengths. Again, we're 33 minutes in, so this game, as this game gets longer and longer, Fission is going to have more and more chances to get back. Death timer is going to start to be longer. The percentage of gold that they're going to be down is going to be smaller if they keep that gold lead around the 8 or 9K mark. And once these guys get to those 5-6 items, it really doesn't matter how much of a gold lead you have. It's all going to come down to positioning. It's all going to come down to who's able to find the right engagements. And I think that's going to be, now that this Baron is gone, now that Fission doesn't see themselves having any openings, they're just going to try and stall as much as possible and find those good engagements to get themselves back in.
And again, they keep trying to pressure down mid, but, you know, this one push comes in from West Fusion. Flares holds off Gnar, and It's hard. It's going to be 3 versus 4 up here, though, so they're going to be able to get a bunch of damage down to Keith McCreef, but not through the Unbreakable. Gnar comes in with the Gnar onto Flares, and he knocks him to the wall, stuns him up quite a bit, but can he actually duel this out flat? No, it doesn't look like he can. Flares has the Miramana just completely whirling away, and Flares just decides to retreat. He's going to try to hit with the Shock Blast, and actually doesn't. Those creeps are going to be able to block it, and now the chase is on, but with insanely low cooldowns, Flares is going to be able to get to the brush, teleport out, and that's the end of that fight.
And he actually teleports to the mid lane to join his team, and they're going to go for this push here. Fission is caught way off guard, and they're not going to be making back in time. They're on the wrong side of this fight. Yeah, what an awkward position for them to be in, and a great call by LoLPro. It doesn't look like they're going to take the risk and go for this, but they do have a little bit of damage on the top side inhibitor turret, but it looks like they're going to say, you know what, maybe this isn't the best idea. Let's go ahead and back off.
All right, so an almost brilliant call turns into a just like a quick safe retreat. So gotta say that was a good idea, good thinking, but a good response from Fission comes through, and so they can't really get anything out of it.
Yeah, Mysterious trying to get that 1v1 up onto Flares. Really close. If he had managed to land that Shock Blast, I think Mysterious probably would have backed off of that one, but you can see just how closely matched these guys are in a 1v1 situation across the board. And Abu222, though, he really needs to get going. He's 50 CS behind, a couple kills behind. He's got 2 full items to Yusui's 4 full items, so that's a big discrepancy in power there with these guys. So he's really going to want to catch up in this game if they're going to have a chance in coming back. But like I said, the later this game goes, the closer these guys get an approach to 6 items and 5 items, then closer it's going to get.
This is really forced right now. He does get 4-man Shockwave, but that doesn't look to be enough. They do get the Gnarls, but he puts him into the Shockwave wall, into the Cataclysm walls, and Indivisible goes big, getting 1 kill. It's still a 1-for-1, trading out the jungler for the top. They're still fighting this one out. Yusui gonna go big, taking down Abu222. That's a big amount of damage gone. Thinkard barely getting out with that Sync Card and Flash, but Yusui's left with the IRS, and he takes him down. And Wiz Fusion looking to come back in here. Valkyrie's over the wall. He's going to try to kill him with the heal, and he does. And that is going to be a 2-for-3. A absolutely closer than you would think fight.
Yeah, and this is sort of the problem that Fission's had in killing the single targets and their focus in the team fights. You can tell they're all using their ultimates on different people. It was a good initiation.
Boomerang.
We got him. Let's see.
Going to be able to chase him down. One auto attack would be enough. It looks like the Boomerang.
No, barely
so
misses.
Tipped his blindfold tails.
Yeah, so Thinkard is going to be able to get away from that one, but Fission's just having such a rough time in these team fights trying to finish off those low health targets, and it's got to be demoralizing for them. Zengi, he did go down really quickly in that fight, but those are the sort of engagements that you really have to pull the trigger on, and especially in the last game, if they had done that a little bit early on, they might have had a better chance. They did get the Gnar ultimate into that Cataclysm wall, which was a great disruptive way to start that team fight, but their focus was just all over the place, and so many players got away with just slivers of health.
Imagine if Abu222 had been playing Orianna there. I kept calling it Shockwave instead of Cataclysm, but if that was a Shockwave in that Cataclysm, that fight would have been over.
It's because you're wishing that the Shockwave had come right after that Cataclysm, because the Zingi's Cataclysms have been pretty on point today. They just haven't had the follow-up that they really need to get a target down super quickly.
Gnar's great, though. I was kind of questioning whether or not Gnar ultimate would knock them into that Cataclysm wall, or if it would just put them through it, but now I know. The more you know.
Yeah, it doesn't get them very much closer to your team, like the normal one where you can knock them back into the wall before most of them can have time to react, but still, like I said, it's very disruptive in the middle of those chaotic team fights. And I think Fission is just sort of confusing themselves a little bit with these chaotic engagements because of the lack of focus.
And this is looking to be a pretty quick Baron to come out here. Miramana just tears through that guy. And they do scout it out with the Scrying Orb. Can he get the steal? He goes in a little too late. And they're going to try to engage on this. Cataclysm goes up into tutor. There's teleport coming in from Gnar. He hops his way in. He's going to transform to Mega Gnar, but that's not enough to save, unfortunately. Zingi, he does Gnar them into the Baron Pit wall, but outside, the fight is going down. And Yasui is going to pick up a kill into the IRS. Abu222 is going to fall. 2 flares, and now Mysterious is by himself, trying to get what he can. It's a 4 for none. Indivisible, the only one surviving, and that might be the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, that's just really rough for Fission at this point in the game. This should be an easy push for victory for LoLPro. They have that open inhibitor in the mid lane, so they should be able to push for victory. Zingi trying to go for that desperate Baron steal, but he was too late, and that was really just a fight that Fission did not want to go for. They were sort of just trying to force it And at this point, that wasn't even a risky play. That was just a reckless play. And LoLPro is going to take this one 2-0 over Fission and move on to play Coast next week to see who's going to make it into that top 4 to move on to the live studio event that we have in December.
Yeah, it's going to be here at the Burbank Studios in California, so it's going to be fun. But we have one more game coming up for you guys, one more match.